I'm Jamie, Elliot.
Yes, I did.
I run a company called JAILmake. We're based in Peckham in southeast London. We've probably been going for about 3 years. So I used to work for, I kind of basically set up the studio fairly fresh out of university. I worked for one other company in the meantime, where we were told it was going to be quite an interesting conceptual research-based design studio in Spain that was a sister company to a massive graphic design studio. So what we were doing was fairly low-key on their budgets or whatever, but we weren't really looking for finance from these companies that we were doing. So we were doing a lot of human-based research, lots of kind of design flows, lots of kind of designing the whole system of researching to then make whatever intervention or redesign the store or a product or something like that. So basically that ended about 5 months when I was there, and it turned out to be basically a bit of a con job. So I set up a studio with a friend of mine whereby we thought we could do something similar to what was pitched in that design studio. We wanted to have a lot of making involved in design. So the way I've done a lot of things before is you kind of, well, I'll get through here, but what we do is a range of different 3D designs. And so this, for example, is a piece of solid silver jewellery that comes in this little tool roll. So this is a private commission. And we do is you unroll the tool, like a little felt roll, and there's lots of little slots with different size connect pieces that you can see on the right. They come out, lots of little different things, and they all hook together. And it's basically a toolkit, so you can make your own brooch, necklace, bracelet, all these different kind of configurations, and they unclip and go back in touch. So another project, I'm going to go through a kind of little range of different projects that we do. This is one that we did beginning of last summer for Tom Dixon, and it was for London Design Festival. He came to us. It was on a Friday, about midday on a Friday, and said that he wanted a outdoor exhibition space up at his studio in Kensal Rise, I think it is, next to the canal, by next Friday. So we had 6 days to turn the whole project around. I think the budget was getting on for 25,000. So what we did is we worked over the weekend, a few little concept sketches, worked over the weekend, made a model, showed him that on the Monday, and then started fabrication on Monday afternoon. Went down to a kind of metal stockholder down in Epps. I have pretty good relations with kind of timber yards, we use them all the time, so just got on the phone, managed to get stuff delivered the same day. We had sign off, and basically, yeah, it was already started work by that evening. We have a workshop as part of the studio, so we have a separate office space, but then we have the workshop is just through the door. We constantly building a different range of equipment, and so forever kind of increasing the potential of what we can design and achieve. A lot of the stuff was kind of cut and done in our workshop, and then it being quite large scale units, we made most of it on site during that week. So these kind of finished cabins, there's 10. What they do, you can see the roof line here is pitched. So basically it's a kind of pull out section of that pitched roof split. And you can see like the model there. So you can see the kind of roof line's been strung out, and then split as these 10 kind of tubular exhibit spaces. Down on the left-hand side here, you've got a canal, kind of a little basin. So all those threads run from different submerged weights up through the water, up a single story, and then through these kind of nodes on the roof, connecting all these different different units. Another little project we did is we went to tent design fair. I think that again this was last year, and we don't really sell products as such. We've made products for people, private or kind of other design studios, but we don't sell stock. So what we did is we decided to take a small snippet of our studio workshop down and basically just show what we did. So it was 205 square metres compressed down into 5 square metres. And we were actually working on a different live brief every day that was out to tender on the internet. So we set up, our office is pretty similar looking, not quite as crowded as that. We have a lot of different material samples, bits and pieces, and inspiration for them. And these are a few of the little prototypes, little models that we made. One of them actually went off and won a competition for kind of animal architecture brief down in Dorset. The thing on the right, the little brass kit, is a bat house. So there's a double layer of brass, or a kind of thin wall sheet, and it's just big enough for bats to go up in. That didn't actually get made, but pretty much just a concept. This is another kind of freebie product that we made. It's a tree climbing step. So what it is, you can see the blocks on the top left. There's a ratchet strap that goes around the tree through this little block of 3 split bits of oak with brass pins on. Strap it around the tree, tighten the ratchet strap, it gives you a secure foot to then get up and have a little adventure. All that's, everything's handmade, the leather's cut, the brass pins all hand turned on the lathe, the bags hand sewn, screen printers, everything's made in-house. This is another one we got asked by Designers Block, again last year, if we could take some furniture out to Milan Furniture Fair. 4 days before they were due to get shipped. So yeah, we like a deadline. So yeah, 4 days, and I had previously made a chair similar to this in 1 day. So we figured 4 days, why not make 4 chairs? So then the day chairs came about, 4 days. So we split the day into 4 sections and made a chair for each different section of the day. So we have a morning chair, which is the one at the front left of the large picture. This one here. So it's pretty similar to the tipped armchair, if you know that. But that wasn't kind of, I think it was about, I'm not sure if it was about the time. So it's got a little kind of ledge on the front, and the idea is you can sit, it's quite low back, and you sit at a desk and eat breakfast table. Then this one here is the noon chair, which is a fairly straightforward dining chair, table chair. Then you've got the one on the right is the afternoon chair, which is a rocking chair. And if you could just, you can't see that really. This one here is like a similar style, but it's an evening chair. So it's a much more kind of reclining lounging chair. Again, these weren't really done as products to sell, they were just done as projects for us to kind of see what we can design, see how we can come up with concepts and execute it within that fairly tight period. What I'm going to talk about for the rest of this is basically my interest in making, kind of the reason why we set up and kind of what I aim to achieve roughly with the whole thing. So I think if you're going to do making, you have to kind of learn through objects. Like, people are always in contact with objects in everyday life. Constantly, everything is designed. Like, it's just an endless source of inspiration or information right in front of you. Inside all these things, inside everything, just what things are made out of, how they feel in your hand, how heavy they are. So always, I think a lot of learning is done through your fingers, and the best way of doing that is to, a lot of it, more often than not, is to kind of be destructive. So take things apart, kind of pull things out, see how they break, see how they stretch, see how strong fixings are, see you know, how you can put it back together, how you can do these different types of things. So forever when I was younger, or a lot of people, you know, they start by being very destructive, or, you know, kind of making a mistake and then building off that. Something that lends itself to that is the kind of the form of the, you know, the Lego brick. So you've got your idea on the box, but then I just think it's, you know, genius that I think it's, yeah, integral part of how people should be educated in design is to build from kind of material components all the way up. So, you know, what is it? There's kind of reports on how much you can learn through being told, and then how much you can learn through reading, and then how much you can learn by being shown, and then how much you can learn by actually doing it yourself. So I love teaching. We do teach down at the workshop. I teach all my interns. I teach like freelance employees. I teach lots of people how to weld. I teach machinery. And I'm forever teaching myself. So a lot of my knowledge of manufacturing processes, or how I do things, is predominantly self-taught. I did a couple of years working as a mechanical engineer before I did a degree. Prior to that, it was just kind of DIY at home with my dad, who's, you know, kind of got a bit past what he was doing. But yeah, it's learning different materials, why different materials are used in different projects, how you can use different materials in a kind of correct textbook manner, but then also what happens if you fuck them up, if you accidentally make a mistake, and you know, or just the waste product that comes off material. So if you're using a machine lathe, you get a lot of swarf, you get these kind of crazy intricate patterns. If you're using it for a slightly different material, you get a completely different shape. So it's just observation of everything that you're doing, even the kind of bits that aren't relevant to the, you know, like that, like the swarf off the machine. It's not really relevant to what you're actually kind of creating, but it lends itself to learning more and more about the material just through every single experience of how you make this kind of stuff. These are two books that are completely different. I don't know if anyone has or knows of these things. The one on the left is all these kind of Russian folk artifacts that are all handmade. It's absolutely amazing, but there's, I think off the top of my head, I was going to bring it with me, but off the top of my head there's kind of toys made out of bits of scrap wood. There's a doormat that's made out of lots of bottle tops and all the burrs and stuff.
I've seen the titanium ping pong ball carrier.
Yeah, there's loads of stuff. There's lots of, well, that's a TV aerial made out of forks. It's endless, just amazing reuse of materials. Yeah, it's a great book. And the other one on the right is also a great book. It's kind of a bit of a design studio Bible, a bit of a workshop Bible. So it's got, yeah, a great resource of manufacturing processes, but also people that actually do it, and it's got all their contacts and stuff. So if you want something, you can look it up. You can look up them. They might not exist anymore. They might put you in touch with someone else. But it's really good. It's a really good kind of across the board look at how people use materials and the kind of potential of what can be done with different stuff. A lot of things that are made so I think, yeah, how I learn things is through, or how I kind of sometimes design things is through the method of fabrication. So if you know what you can do with the material, you know kind of, again, like that's the one where we've got a very limited period of time. You can't do something completely outrageous, you have to kind of rein it in a bit, but then knowing how you can use different materials in lots of different ways through different machines, forms, like maybe the best way you can get an interesting design out of a limited budget, material resource, or kind of time frame. All the people who come and work down at the studio, be them interns or freelancers, they tend to get a fairly reasonable education in the equipment. A lot of people I take on are graduates who don't have, you know, they aren't fabricators or they haven't had welding training and stuff like that. But yeah, it's really it's kind of basic knowledge. Basically, is what I try and give people. I think, but with making, if you know how to do something, you don't always have the potential to do it. So, if you can collaborate with other people and you can work as a team and you can, it's a very kind of maybe a simple way of looking at it. But if you kind of learn off each other, and if you kind of push the system of being given products or houses or whatever it is inside, you can actually teach yourself, even with a few basic skills and a bit of time and dedication, to do or make just great, you know, bigger things than you could ever imagine. So these guys are building a cabin out in Northern California, I think it is. And again, it's great to be able to use your local resources, local materials, to know where everything's come from instead of just consume world. But obviously, sometimes that's a bit of a hippie approach, especially living in an urban environment. You can't just go and chop down a tree and be like, oh, I'm going to make a chair, or I'm going to, you know, do this, that, and the other. It's not always possible. One project that's out there that I'm totally amazed by is this. Does anyone know this? Open source colleges. So this is an open source system. Where's the guy graduate from? Do you know?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Basically, he set up this system whereby he came up with, I think it's the top 50 machines to create a modern civilization. So you get everything from industrial baking ovens, PCB printers, tractors, compressed earth brick making machines, but it's all open source. I think he started maybe by kind of wanting to live that rural, slightly utopian lifestyle, but he couldn't afford a tractor or anything. All the stuff was overpriced, and you know, if it breaks, you've got to fix it. But if you kind of make it yourself, you make it more like obviously component led and open source, then he made a tractor for like a tenth of what you could buy one for, and it's all out there to be adapted and to be reused. And it's amazing, and they put all these list of machines up there. It's open to any engineer anywhere in the world to develop those machines and just put them back. It's a pretty beautiful system. But again, like, how is that? That's not always going to be relevant for people like, I don't know, like you and me, like us. You're not going to make your house out of compressed bricks or things like that. It might be nice, but currently in this climate, like, it's not always achievable to just kind of cut up sticks and do. But what I'm thinking, so what with our workshop, what we're trying to do is maybe make it a bit more open to either just the local community in terms of maybe a more traditional approach. If you want something, you go and get it made, and it's not actually as expensive or as you might be led to believe. If you want a tool, or you want a piece of furniture, or you want something designed, there are people within cities still that do that. You know, within how I operate, down in Peckham, just such an amazing array of different people hidden away